Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fitness Goal Friday. I could not be more excited to talk about this topic because push-ups are one of the most foundational moves in fitness, right? Everybody has tried a push-up or does push-ups. Everybody knows what a push-up is, and everybody admires people who can do a lot of push-ups, right? Everybody looks at somebody who can do a lot of push-ups and is impressed and is like, I kind of wish I could do a little bit more. And I was somebody who was fortunate enough that my dad had me and my brother probably at the age of 7 years old, if not younger, doing push-ups with him out in the living room on the floor. Like, we started at a young age, and I'll tell you, to this day, me, him, and my brother, even my sister, and even my mom a little bit too, we do these things called 110s. And my dad is almost one of the ones who kind of spurs it on more than anybody. He's like, all right, guys, you want to do 110s now? And what that means is we'll drop down together and you partner up. And I do a push-up, he does a push-up. I do 2, he does 2. I do 3, he does 3. I do 4, he does 4. All the way up to 10. You do 10 twice, and then you work your way back down. And that's 110 total push-ups. And you essentially kind of try to see how fast you can do it with as minimal rest time as possible. And that's something that we started doing push-ups together when we were probably like 7 or so, but then we started doing those in middle school to high school, and we still do them on a regular basis. And like I said, like, it's always my dad's idea, which is kind of the annoying part. And the other thing around push-ups that I feel like I have a little bit of credibility around is in May of 2020 during the pandemic, I did this thing called 1,000 a day in May. And so I chose 3 exercises: body weight squats, bicycle crunches, and push-ups. And I rotated every single day. I did 1,000 body weight squats one day. I did 1,000 bicycle crunches the next day, and I did 1,000 push-ups the next day. And so each of those 3 exercises, unfortunately, I did push-ups first. So I did push-ups on 1,000 push-ups 11 days during that month, 1,000 squats 10 days, and then 1,000 bicycle crunches 10 days. So I did 1,000 push-ups 11 days during the month of May. So I know a thing or two about push-ups. And the last thing I want to say before I kind of get into the meat of this is I always knew that guys wanted to improve their push-ups, but one of the things that I've been realizing lately is that almost more so than guys, girls want to improve their push-ups. Girls kind of, if girls can see another girl doing a push-up, doing a good push-up with good form, they really look at them as like, that person's fit. That person knows what they're doing. And they admire that person. I've had a lot of people in my fitness goal setting program set their goal to be able to achieve their first push-up, or to be able to increase the amount of push-ups, or be able to do 10 push-ups now with really good form instead of sloppy form. And so that brings me to today, to how to actually improve your push-ups by doing these 3 things. Thing number 1 is you have to nail down proper form first, because you think push-ups are a pretty simple move, but for most people I see, especially females, sorry you girls out there, especially you females, most of you guys don't have the proper form. And a couple of the biggest mistakes that I see is your elbows are going out. And so when your elbows are going out, you're not recruiting your chest muscles as much. You're using a lot of your shoulders, and you're not using your triceps almost at all. And so you need to make sure your elbows are going back more at like a 45 degrees and staying a little bit tighter to your body. So that's one big core component of a push-up. The other one that's big is people usually only go about halfway down. And so if you're not getting the full range of motion, you're not training yourself in that most difficult part of the range of motion at the very bottom. So you have to do a modification of a push-up so that you can get full form, whether that's on your knees, whether that's standing up against a bar, whether that's against the edge of your bed, against the edge of your couch. Like, I have clients who do their push-ups on the edge of the back of their couch, right? Because they can get all the way down. Maybe it's the edge of a bench, whatever it is. You need to be able to get your full range of motion on the way down. And then one of the last things I see is a lot of people dive their head into the push-up. They dive their forehead down into their push-up instead of kind of like leading with their chest and getting all the way down there. So you want to make sure your elbows don't go out. You need to make sure your elbows go more back at like a 45-degree angle. And then you want to make sure you get your full range of motion all the way down, chest to the floor. You need to find some sort of surface that allows you to do that. And you need to make sure that you're not diving your head down into the push-up. So key number 1 is you have to nail down proper form first. Key number 2, and one of the biggest just like training things that you can do is negative push-ups. So that means eccentric push-ups all the way down. So find a lower surface. It might not be the floor for you, but find a lower surface that you can take about 3, 4, maybe even 5 seconds on the negative portion of the push-up, on the way down portion of the push-up, but you can't push yourself back up. That's key. Find a surface, an elevated surface, or the ground that you can go about 3, 4, 5 seconds on the way down, but you're not able to push yourself back up. And train yourself as going as slow as possible on the way down, then rest at the bottom, then get back up from your knees, and then go again. 3, 2, 1. Rest, get back up, go again. 3, 2, 1. You doing those negative push-ups at a surface that is too hard for you to do regular push-ups on, but it's doable to be able to take 3, 4, or 5, or 6, 3, 4, or 5 seconds on the way back down. That is absolutely crucial. And along the same lines of training is the only way you're going to be able to get your first push-up, especially these are kind of talking to people who are trying to get their first push-up or maybe being able to get 2 push-ups or 3 push-ups in a row, you have to train strength. It's not just about doing as many push-ups as you can on your knees or as many push-ups as you can at a really, really high elevated surface. You have to train strength, which means you have to train something where you can only get a couple of reps. You can only get a few reps doing. And so you have to train push-ups at as low of a surface as you possibly can, with still being able to get some reps. So negative push-ups and as low a surface as you possibly can where you can only get a few reps on are absolutely 2 key training components if you're trying to get your first push-up, maybe a 2 push-ups or 3 push-ups. And the last thing I want to say is you also want to do supplemental exercises, right? The chest is obviously the biggest thing that you're going to be working in push-ups, but so are your shoulders. That's a secondary muscle that is working, and then your triceps, right? And I'll relate this to me running a faster mile. If I wanted to improve my mile time, sure, I could have gone out and tried to do a 1 mile run day after day after day after day after day after day. And that'll probably get me better at the 1 mile run, but is it going to allow me to improve the most? Is it going to allow me to improve the most efficiently and the most effectively? No, I might even get hurt, but it's not training the subcomponents of the mile, which is why I did longer, like 8-mile runs to train my endurance, which is why I did track workouts to train my speed, which is why I did hills to train my strength, right? So I trained all the subcomponents around doing that 1 mile run to improve on the 1 mile run. Same thing goes for push-ups. If you just do push-ups over and over and over again, yeah, you're going to improve on them, but is it the most efficient way? Is it the most effective way? No. You need to be training the other muscles that you're also working during the push-up, which is mostly shoulders, triceps, and a little bit of core work as well. And so those are the 3 things that are going to really allow you to improve your push-ups, especially for you guys who are at the point where you can't do 1 great push-up, or you can maybe do 1, but you can't do 2. You maybe do 2, but you can't do 3. You're on the more beginner side of things. Again, to run it back, number 1 is you have to nail down proper form, not your going with wide elbows. You need to make sure you get your full range of motion, and you need to make sure you're not diving your head in. If you're training, you need to make sure you do negative push-ups, going really slow, 3, 4, 5 seconds on the way down, resetting and repeating. And you need to find a low surface that you can only do about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 push-ups on, and train at that a decent amount of the time. And then lastly, you need to train the subcomponents of the push-up. You need to train shoulders, you need to train triceps, you need to train core in order to actually help you improve push-ups as well. You can't just do push-ups over and over and over again. So for those of you guys who are trying to improve your push-ups, try those things out. Try those things out. DM me on Instagram at carrier_bestu and let me know how they go. Let me know where you currently stand, and I can give you a little bit more personalized advice as well around this. But I would love to hear, for those of you guys who clicked on this because you want to improve your push-ups, I would love to know where you currently stand. And I would love to hold you accountable. Like, how many push-ups can you currently do in a minute? And let's set a goal for the next 5 weeks. What can you do at the end of 5 weeks? How many can you increase that by? I would love to help you coach you through that and give you some pointers and give you some tips. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you got something out of this episode on how to improve your push-ups. If you know somebody, you know your workout partner, you know a friend who's trying to improve their push-ups, send this to them. If you liked it, make sure you give it a rating and review, a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. That's a great way to help get the show into more ears, because that moves the show up the ranks. And when people search for shows, is more likely to pop up. And so that would be really helpful to me and really helpful for Best You and really helpful for other people so they can get these messages like this as well. I hope this helped you to improve your push-ups, but I also hope that you got a little bit nugget today that will allow you to get closer and closer to your best you.